Good morning, good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Refresh. I'm Martin.
I'm Anna.
And we are really pleased that you can join us today, whether you're watching live or watching over the coming weeks. It's great to have you with us. A real warm welcome to Refresh. We are Refresh Church. We're in Molesey and the surrounding areas in Surrey, part of the Pioneer Network, and just great to be together as family today, connecting online when we can't be together in person. And I just want to start with a few words of encouragement from the book of Psalms. And it says, "Blessed is he who comes in the name of God. From the house of God, we bless you. The Lord is God, and he has made his light shine on us. You are my God, and I will praise you. You are my God, I will exalt you. Give thanks to the Lord. He is good, and his love endures forever." So a few words there just to bring us into the presence of God this morning, to bring us to a place of praise and encouragement. And what a great morning we're going to have together.
No, I'm looking forward to it. We've got quite a few exciting things to share, and we've got some special guests as well. So yeah, really good.
So Anna, I think there's some fantastic news we want to share first of all this morning.
Definitely. And what you've just read about giving thanks, we've got some massive thanks to give today, because we are so excited to share that Tony and Judith Kelly have become grandparents.
Hooray!
And this is baby Kelly, that is the proud son to Abby and Joe Kelly, and he was born yesterday by cesarean section yesterday morning. So congratulations, Granny and Grandad.
Yeah,
and
well done everybody.
hope you're both doing well, Abby and Joe. Well done, and the adventure begins.
Brilliant news, and we look forward to meeting the little guy in the coming weeks and months. Just such a blessing, and we're so grateful to God for helping, being there with Abby through that, and Joe, and they're going to be fantastic parents, and we just bless them. Just those words of encouragement and love. We'll just pour down over them this morning, their family, and to you, Tony and Judith, Grandma and Grandpa. Well done. Great. What else have we got?
We have got special guests this morning. We've got Alex and Eve Mowbray, who'll be sharing with us a bit later on about how we can hear from God. So perfect time to kick off with the chat, do you think?
I think let's see who's saying hello. Wow, lots of people already.
Wow. I can't believe it. Mark Blythe is not first this morning. Olivia, you have topped Mark Blythe. Well, good morning.
Morning, Olivia.
We've got Tony Kelly saying hi. Hope everyone's well.
Hey, Tony.
Who else we got? Susie. Morning. Oh, Morgan. Morning. Who else have we got? Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
You are very welcome.
Cool. So this morning we've got a bit of a theme to our meeting, which is always good. And what we're going to be thinking about today is how we hear from God. So I don't know if that's a new thing maybe to you, that you think, well, can I actually hear from God, and how can I do that? But between us all this morning, I thought it'd be great for us to share on the chat about ways in which we can hear God for ourselves. There's many ways, and Alex and Eve are going to talk further, but it might be something even recently that you've experienced. You've just known God's peace and love through a moment, through a time outdoors, or something you've seen, a piece of art, something from the Bible. Maybe just put it on the chat, just saying thank you to God for speaking to me, bringing me a message of your love and peace in this way, and we can share those thoughts together, and maybe it'll spark something off and you think, wow, yeah, I can go and do that and connect with God.
So should we move into pictures?
Yes, picture time.
So a few weeks ago we opened up the Refresh Arms thanks to Martin's idea, and we thought it'd be a great way of connecting with people. The pubs may be closed, but the Refresh Arms is always open, and it was really lovely to connect with a few people we haven't seen for a while. Phil was in the Northern Lights, so he came from afar, but it was a great evening connecting. So it was a really good time, and we're going to do that again soon, aren't we?
Why not? Yeah, it's good fun.
What else have we been up to? So Hannah and I run the Refresh Kids Zoom, and we have had the privilege of running 2 this month so far. So we thought we'd just let you see what we get up to. So this is me dressed as a strawberry and Hannah, and the theme, I don't know if you can guess, was Fruits of the Spirit. So we looked at that last week and we had an amazing time. And we made, we decorated stones and we put one of the fruits of the Spirit on it, and we had a really good time. And then a few weeks ago, we looked at the story of Joseph, and everyone's intently listening to Hannah's story. And here's another one. We then sent them off on a scavenger hunt all the way around the house. And I think in this picture, they were having to find pillows because Joseph was a dreamer. So yeah, that was really good fun. So kids, don't forget, get writing in the chat. How does God chat to you? How does God speak to you? Because I know he does. So yeah.
That's brilliant. And when's the next, I don't know what you call them. What do you call them? Kids Zoom?
Kids Zoom. Probably in a couple of weeks.
Brilliant. Looking forward to that. Look out for that, kids, for the next one that you've got coming up. Just a few more comments. Congratulations. That's from Sheila to Tony and Judith and the family. Congratulations. More. A whole new wonderful world. Yeah, brilliant. So excited. Congratulations. We're rejoicing with you. Absolutely.
Oh, it's really exciting.
Good stuff. Well, something that's been going on over the last few days has been a prayer challenge. And this challenge has come to us from the Eternal Wall of Prayer, this amazing monument that's going to be constructed in the heart of our country, containing millions of bricks. And each one is going to be a story of answered prayer in somebody's life. And a little challenge that the Eternal Wall have set are for people to go onto Facebook and just record a short video saying, giving an answer to prayer, something that God has answered in their lives. And it's been great to see Refresh family sharing some of the stories this week. And we'd like to show you one of them. So I'm going to find that for you now. And this is from Amy, who has shared a story of answered prayer in her life. So well done, Amy, for doing this.
Yeah, absolutely amazing, Amy.
Hi, my name's Amy, and I'm taking part in the Answered Prayer Challenge. I nominate Jacob Adams and Clara Osei to take part too. So this is my story. I grew up as an agnostic, and in my late teens and my early 20s, I became a very committed atheist. But after I left university, I met quite a few new people, made some new friends, and many of them were Christians. I really struggled to reconcile what they would tell me about their beliefs and their faith with things I believed myself. So I ended up doing an Alpha course, which is specifically designed for people who have little or no faith, but have questions about Christianity. And the more I heard about God and the more I heard about the gospel of Jesus on my course, the more I really wanted it to be true. But in many ways, hearing stories about creation or miracles from the Bible, it really just deepened my sense of skepticism. Everything they said, it just sounded a bit too good to be true. And I found that as I wanted to believe in God, it was like trying to believe that the sky was green or the grass was blue. I just didn't buy any of it. But on one of the last days of my Alpha, I had the opportunity to pray. And I did. I prayed to God, and it was simple. It's something along the lines of, God, if you're there, if you're real, which I know you aren't, but if you are, please help me to believe in you, because I want to, but I just don't, and I don't know how. And needless to say, I'm sharing this story because God answered my prayer. That was nearly 4 years ago, and today I am a Christian. I believe in God, and I believe in Jesus, and I believe in the same way that I believe that there's oxygen in the air that I breathe, or gravity is going to keep me on the floor. I just believe it. I just know it's true. And that shift from committed atheist to committed Christian is one that I can only explain as answered prayer. So that is my story. And I think it shows you, or it shows me, that even when we don't know God, he knows us. So I believe that prayer works. I believe he can answer your prayers too. So pray and share your story, because together we can make the hope of God visible to all.
Oh, sorry about that. Technology.
Amateurs.
Amy, that was so amazing. Just that it was so natural. And I'm sure there's loads of people out there that can relate that feeling of wanting to know God, but not wanting to know God. And I just love that line that you said, that even when we don't know God, he knows us. And that going on Alpha just really helped you. And yeah, I'm sure really encourage people to look out for an Alpha, because you never know what that could be your answered prayer too. So well done, Amy. It's just absolutely amazing.
And there's been loads more videos this week just coming through, so keep your eyes peeled for those on the Refresh Facebook and Instagram. And the Eternal Wall, it's called the Answered Prayer Challenge. You don't have to wait for an invitation to share your prayer story. You can go on yourself. The instructions how to do it and tag it is all on the Eternal Wall of Answered Prayer website. And yes, so the idea, so people are being invited. I know I've had a little invitation.
Me too.
So there are more stories coming over these coming weeks and days. So that's really exciting, because we do believe God is alive. He's changing lives. And that's who we are at Refresh. We're a bunch of ordinary people who found life in Jesus. And we're making our way with him in the journey day by day in faith. So what else is on the list this morning?
Alex and Eve.
Great. Oh yeah, we are going to bring on Alex and Eve any moment. Just to say what's coming up. We did say a little chat challenge.
Yeah,
so let's have a look, shall we? More congratulations.
Everyone's really excited about the new baby Kelly.
Yeah,
I wonder what he's going to be called.
We thought we could do a comment in names for the name the baby, but
yeah, could have had a competition.
Great. Just to say also what's coming up in the coming weeks as well. We've got next week on the guest speaker is Janine Rodriguez, everyone, who's always brilliant to listen to. So don't miss out on Janine coming next week. And the weekend after that will be Phil Moore. So we've got lots of good stuff to look forward to. But to this morning, our real special guests are our friends Alex and Eve, who I'm going to bring on now. Hello.
Camera's up here. Hi guys. Very welcome.
Oh,
Good
no, very
morning.
welcome.
It's so good to have you with us. Fantastic. And just by way of introduction, we believe, we can all hear from God as believers. But I know that for you two, you've really taken God at his word, and this is something that you've really stepped out in and been part of over many years in lots of different creative ways. And I couldn't think of anyone better to come and share with us this morning about that, on that theme of how God speaks. So it's great to have you with us. How are you all doing at the minute?
Yeah, doing very well, thank you. Yeah,
Good.
All good.
All healthy. I don't know if we've got any germs, but they haven't manifested themselves. So there you go.
Oh, grateful to God you're
keeping ourselves safe, haven't we? But hello everyone, because I haven't seen a lot of people, so nice. It will be nice to see you all sometime.
I will say that we've had time to be creative, so we've got some new art. I've done a bit of writing and just sort of creative projects, really, that we feel there's been some daylight time. It's much easier to paint. Oh, there's one. Look, that.
Gorgeous. Who did this?
Well, it's my picture.
Eve, it's amazing.
My husband adds a little bit of. He does some of his magic to my pictures, so he always helps me with the finishing touches on my pictures. So I can't take all the credit, but yeah.
Oh. It's amazing. How long did it take you?
Weeks.
Well, it did take a while, but I think a lot faster than I have been in the past. I think I was more focused on that picture, so it didn't take as long as I would normally take, because I'm usually very slow. But yeah, I think the reflection of on that tree was the real trial.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's incredible. Well done. And I know that you've been doing your art evenings have continued on Zoom, online, and they've been proving really popular.
Indeed, there's another one coming up, a free plug for that in February, the
12th.
12th. Thank you very much. So we had about 18 guests last time, and it's
That's
really
incredible.
exciting. I think we're just feeling that people have got more time on their hands right now, and they're just thinking, well, what can I do that I enjoy doing that I've so far been prevented from doing? And even if they're coming with no necessary skills, no experience, may have not done art since school and told they were no good, all that kind of stuff. This is quite regular stuff we pick up, and people are really just happy to come along and just do something and it not be judged, or do you know what I mean? It's like not being told. It's almost breaking free from how they perceive their own ability, or how they've been told what ability they don't have. So it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I know from the times that the occasions I've popped along for art evenings, you don't need any ability, which I certainly haven't got, but you receive great encouragement from you guys and from others to have a go, and it's incredible what can result from just having a go and enjoying it.
And if anyone's interested, it's all on the Refresh Facebook page. It tells you what you need, the Zoom link, so it's all there. It's really easy. I've already recommended it to someone, so yeah, highly recommend it.
Excellent, thank you. Looking forward to
it. Give it a go.
So just the last sentence on that is that the general theme for this coming meeting is strength. Okay, and you can think about that. There's something on the email about exploring strength. So you're not left to think, oh crumbs. You think of steel girders. I mean, it's a very different. It could be that. Or it could be a muscle. I've been trying to find some this morning, but I haven't been locating any. But it's just any kind of strength. You think, okay, the kind of strength that we need to push through where we are now is a different kind of strength.
Yeah.
So it's drawing on that strength, and that will be the theme for wanting to express that in an art form.
Brilliant. Great.
Exciting.
Great. Well, Alex, we're going to let you speak. I know it's a bit of a tag team this morning. I think you're going to speak, and then Evie and Anna's going to do a short interview with Evie. So I will let you begin.
Thanks.
Okay. So I think. Oh, okay. My other half's gone, but she'll come back. I think, Rhea, I'm going to try and watch the camera, which is above the screen. I will have to refer to notes, I'm afraid, because firstly, I don't want to wander, and secondly, there's a few Bible verses. So lost and found is the essential message this morning. It's a very simple message. It's actually quite a short message because there's a lot to say about John chapter 10. And I'm just going to put a context to you. You probably know that the previous chapter, he has an encounter with the Pharisees, who were the kind of spiritual lawmakers of the day. And they're always keen to have a run-in with Jesus to test him and try and catch him out. So this is no exception. So John 9 deals with a man that Jesus healed on their Sabbath day, which they regarded as holy. So no one did anything other than worship God. So they're picking up an ancient issue they have with him, that he really isn't the Messiah. He shouldn't be doing supernatural things, and there's something dodgy there somewhere. And ultimately, he's breaking the Sabbath rules. So it's a religious issue. So into all of that, Jesus decides he's not interested in religion as such. So, and this is the parable of the lost sheep. It's all about relationship. And everybody knows, I'm sure most of us know John chapter 10, and I don't think there's anything to bring. I just want to remind us, in a sense, that of what the essential message here is that Jesus wants to give us as well as the Pharisees. So John 10, just a few verses from the Passion Translation. Jesus said to the Pharisees, "Listen to this eternal truth. The person who sneaks over the wall to enter into the sheep pen, rather than coming through the gate, reveals himself as a thief coming to steal. But the true shepherd walks right up to the gate, and because the gatekeeper knows who he is, he opens the gate to let him in. The sheep recognize the voice of the true shepherd, for he calls his own by name, he leads them out. They belong to him. And when he's brought out all his sheep, he walks ahead of them. They will follow him. They are familiar with his voice. They'll run away from strangers, never follow them, because they know it's the voice of a stranger. Jesus told the Pharisees this parable, even though they didn't understand a word of what he meant. So Jesus went over it again. Essentially, I speak to you eternal truth. I am the gate for the flock. And 2 more verses a bit further on. I alone am the good shepherd. And good is equal to kind. I mean, it's a composite word, but it actually means kind. And I know those whose hearts are mine, for they recognize and know me, just as my Father knows my heart, and I know my Father's heart. I am ready to give my life for the sheep. So I was thinking, okay, we got some lost and some found in this parable, and it's, as you know, it's one of the classic I ams. Jesus has a number of I ams through his ministry, and this is I am the good shepherd. So I was thinking, what does it mean to be lost? I mean, Jesus talks about lost and talks about found. So what does it mean to be lost? So I thought, well, I'll put a few notes down about what I think it means to be lost. And I'm wondering whether you can actually connect with any of these different ways of being lost. The first one is that you're at a crossroads. You don't know which way to go. Certain things have been curtailed. You can't progress or proceed. You've had to almost like reduce your horizons. Maybe you're in a cul-de-sac at the moment. You don't know where to go, what to do for the best, and you find yourself going around in a circle. There's being emotionally lost, where you feel disconnected. You don't know where you are with things. You're having to manage, juggle some critical things. But also you're feeling alone or isolated in this, a sense of being abandoned, wandering about maybe, as if you're unable to focus on what you should be focusing on, or what you have felt is normally important to you. Maybe you've got to a point where you feel like giving up. And then there's another kind of loss I picked up, which is struggling with a loss of identity. In other words, one of the things that our spiritual enemy likes to do is to detract us from who we are and who God says we are. And the way he does that is to almost shake the foundations to try and see what's loose, what isn't well built, if you like, what is leaking in the roof, whatever it might be. And I kind of feel that this can leave us feeling unsure where we fit in now, because all the things that we've wanted to get on and do for the last year, we've been held back from doing. Some things we have been able to do, but other things we really haven't. And we can't progress in the way that we would like to have done. So this leaves us feeling, are there questions about who we really are, what we're depending on, what strength we draw, if you like, to live by? And I guess the other one is spiritual loss. Maybe we've got to a point of disillusion. Maybe we're struggling to hear from God in this time. Maybe we're just generally struggling with our faith. I mean, despair could be on the list of words we might use to describe where we are. And it's possible that we even got to a point of doubt whether God is speaking to us at all, and whether we're able to hear his voice. So there's a lot in there, and in a way, I'm sure that we could unpack those even more. But they're just headings, they're tags, if you like, and you can think, yeah, actually that is how I feel, and it is affecting possibly my faith or my vision, or whatever aspect it is. So into that, I'm thinking, right, Jesus is both spiritual and practical, and he will always bring something which addresses the issue. So in the context of sheep, for example, Israel was a nation with lots of sheep in lots of ways, and so he used that context, that narrative, the shepherd and the sheep, because that will be common to everybody. So he says, well, look, let me tell you how this is. Imagine yourselves as sheep. I am the good shepherd. So what he wants to do is to bring us to a point where he's saying, I don't stop being the shepherd because you're struggling in your lostness. If anything, it's where you are lost that I step in. And he says, when, if there's one sheep out the fold, I'm going to leave the 99 right where they are and go looking for one sheep. And I'm thinking that's 1% of the sheep population he's talking about. And I'm just thinking, if he's going to do that for one person, that person could be me. That person could be you. And the lostness isn't just about, oh, I was lost and now I'm found. We all have this habit of wandering off for all kinds of reasons. And maybe the last year, you and I have wandered off in some ways, and we actually need to come back into the fold. There's no judgment. There's no anger. There's no telling off from Jesus, from God. It's a welcome. Look, come to me, because I've got my eye on you. I know you by name. I know where you are. I want to find you. I want you to be found, which of course is the opposite to being lost. So I'm just feeling now that what we've got here is a situation where Jesus isn't going to scold us for wandering off. He's going to say, I'm just so pleased that you want to get back. Sometimes we're stuck in things, and he's got to go and physically pick us up out of the ditch and put us on the shoulders and bring us back. Sometimes it's quite an emotional bringing back, but it's there for all of us all the way through our lives. So I'm thinking in the last section here, what does it mean to be found? And if you're lost this morning, it's like you're carrying a sense of loss, you may be just wandering. So it's not that you can define yourself in any category. You just feel you don't know where you are in so many things. And I get that, I totally do. And the more news you watch, the more you feel you still don't know where you are. It's not actually helping. So if you're feeling that, this is what Jesus really wants to say to you and me. And because he doesn't do religion, he does relationship. Now, it's not religion is all wrong. It's often a structure that we've put around relationship to try and push it into a kind of a system. And actually, he says, look, this is about a one-to-one. This is about a relationship that I have with you and you can have with me. And this is where it starts. And ultimately, this is where it ends. So this is what he is saying. It just states some facts. I'm just going to read them off my script here. He says this. Imagine him speaking to you this morning, right now. I alone am your good, kind shepherd. I know the people whose hearts are mine, for they recognize my voice. You can recognize my voice. Because you wander, I will come and find you. Finding is about being restored in every sense. If you belong to me, you will discover the joy of our unique friendship. Feeling lost does not change the fact that you belong to me, and it never will. No one can change what I have already done for you and what I'm going to do. I'd like to close my part in this with a verse from Matthew. Jesus says something which everyone in the world must know. Come to me, all of you. That doesn't just mean all of you as in the company of people. It means all of you as a whole person. Bring the whole person. That is weary from carrying heavy loads.
Wow.
Brilliant.
So Evie, it is such a privilege to hear from about your journey, and I'm just gonna ask you some questions, and you're gonna share about your lost and found journey, which I think so many people will be able to relate to. So it is such a privilege to have you here. So how did it feel to be lost, Evie? Oh, I seem to have lost her.
Yes, I think we have lost Alex and Eve.
No, we haven't lost anybody.
We can hear you.
We
That's
can
great.
hear you.
Carry on.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. I went to move the screen and I pressed the off button. You can see how competent I am in these matters. We're not. No one can see us. At least my screen.
No, we've lost you. We've lost your picture, but we
Oh,
can.
you're back.
You?
There you are.
And back in the room.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
How did that feel to be lost?
Yes, you've been found now.
Oh, I felt so lost, honestly.
Go for it, Evie.
Oh goodness. Yeah, so what happened with my journey, which is a privilege to share with you this morning, is that God's voice had become very distant in my life. I started my life, I'd attended a church from quite a young age where I had learned a lot about God, but not a lot about his love and grace. I also connected God and church to be kind of the same thing. So I felt that, God was in church. And so when I stopped attending church, I thought my connection with God had been broken. And as time went by and life continued, my heart began to harden to hearing him. So when things were going well in my life, I thought I could manage without God. Inwardly, I was still searching for God. I felt I had become disconnected, but somehow a seed had been planted there. And so I continued my search. And so inside I was searching, and outwardly I was being offered a whole range of other gods that would temporarily fill the gap and replace the sense of who I was. But when things started falling apart in my life, crash, I still prayed to God. I prayed to the Christian God that I had known for help, with no expectations that he would hear me. I'd made a bit of a mess of my life. I'd made a lot of mistakes. I had been let down by people that I trusted and believed in, and I just didn't feel that I could trust anyone. Then I sort of began to feel very insecure in my life. And basically I'd lost my faith in people, and I'd lost my faith in God. So that was quite a low point in my life. And my mum still used to pray for me, and she used to encourage me and speak to me about God. And those were the words that I heard over those years of being out there without God. it was a bit of a wilderness, really, when you look back. Yeah.
So what changed?
Well, I was invited to a church meeting by, well, a friend associate, really. I believe that God puts people around us. That's part of the way that he wants us to hear him. He puts people around us in situations and at times when we know he's listening, but we don't actually inwardly know that. We don't recognize that. So I went along to this church meeting, and it was the first time I'd actually been back into a church after, 25 years. And so I went to church I had my reservations, and my heart was hardened, and I thought, I'm not sure this is going to work. But the people there were so friendly, actually. They were so welcoming, and I felt a sense of being unworthy about being in that church at that time. In my head, I was thinking, I'm really not worthy to be here in the presence of God, kind of thing. But I also felt love and acceptance from the people that were there. It was just quite an amazing surprise for me. And at one of the meetings that I went to, somebody came up and prayed for me. And just as they began to pray, I felt this arm come around my shoulder and just draw me, as though somebody was drawing me close to them. It was a very strange thing, and I was really in awe of what was happening to me. And a voice, I heard this voice very clearly say, welcome, welcome. And I was like, it shook me. It really shook me, that I heard God's voice is so clear. And I was really shaken. Shaken but not stirred. Well, shaken and stirred, in fact. So that was a very real thing for me. And I think since I heard that voice of God, it changed me. Something inside me responded to it. And it was like a seed that had been planted, and just at that point, some water had dropped on it, and something had literally opened up inside me. That's the only way I can describe it. I think it's strange that we can't always describe what happens to us when God comes in and he fills our spirit with his spirit. And so that was an experience that I really recognized that God's hand was upon my life, and that was a big turning point for me. And when I think back, I realized that God hadn't abandoned me. He'd been there all the time. And it was just all in my mind that, I'd connected leaving church with leaving God somehow, and that God didn't want to know me. That's a lie. That's a lie. And I just want to really encourage people that really think that I've spoken to a lot of people in the past who have, made that connection, that church, God is in a church. Well, no, that wasn't the case at all. So over the years, I've been part of Refresh Church. And church for me has always represented a group of people. From that point where my life turned round, it was a group of people who shared God's love and reached out to others with that love. And so Refresh is very much about reaching out into the community. I I've been out with Refresh and in community events, and really shared about God's love and how it has transformed my life, and really just shared about my testimony, how, you know, God rescued me from a place where I was really at my lowest point in life. Yeah, so I just wanted to remind people and to encourage people that, you know, that association can block us sometimes, and when we actually meet God, we actually recognise that He's with us, or He lives in our heart. And it says very clearly in the Bible that it's our heart that God wants.
Wow.
Wow, such powerful words, Evie. So what has been your biggest revelation?
I think the biggest revelation for me was when I discovered that through going back to church and meeting people and sharing with them and opening myself up to what God had got, was that God wanted a relationship with me. Now, I'd never experienced that before in my past church life. That the God who created the heavens and the earth and all the majesty of the earth wants to have a relationship with me. How amazing is that?
Mind blown.
And just that discovery, and then being able to hear His voice on a daily basis, in an intimate way, and experiencing as we begin to connect in a deeper way with God, experiencing the truth that comes through that. When I think about the picture of the shepherd or the man who goes out to rescue the sheep and takes the sheep and puts it over his shoulder, I think of myself as being that broken person who was just down and out and was rescued. I think of myself as being rescued and coming back to a place of acceptance, coming back to a place of security and the knowledge that I belong. For me, that is life transforming. That picture is a very powerful one for me. And I'm sure it may be as well for some of you. And I just think of my friends who might be watching this morning and thinking, you know, they may have been through terrible things in their lives, and just how God can rescue us. And I think it's through we're rescued, we're restored through love, acceptance, and forgiveness. And I believe when we discover that we are forgiven, because we get it so wrong, we mess up. We really do. It's not that straightforward. People come into church and they think, sometimes they go into a church and they think people have got it all sorted. It all looks very organised. No, that's the truth. I'm not saying everyone has messed up like me, but we mess up. And I think we need to recognise that Christians as well as non-Christians do get it wrong. So that misconception that we've all got it sorted, no. And so, being transformed in your life is quite something. It's something that you can't describe. But you see people who look very calm, they've been transformed, but for me it's always yippee, yippee. Yes. I've been transformed. And that is what God has done. Yeah. There's real joy inside me.
Yeah.
Because God has transformed my life, and not just transformed, but healed. My life has been healed. There's been many scars that I carry in my life, that I have carried in my life, and I felt those scars had been healed. And so there's healing, it's restoration, and yeah, it's just an amazing journey.
It is an amazing journey.
It begins, yeah.
So where are you now? Or unless you've answered that already.
Almost there. Okay, I don't want to go over my time. But yeah, so now I'm in a place of trusting for what's next, and knowing that whatever happens in my life, that God is always there, and that He will always be speaking to me. I recognize the miracles that He has done in my life. You know, moving forward, where I am now, and looking back, there has been times in my life when I have really prayed and people have prayed for me, and I have had miracles in my life. My daughter Hannah was born at a time when I thought I'd never have children. So, you know, God has performed miracles in my life, and it is not just me. He performs miracles in other people's lives. And so, yes, and acknowledging that God has a plan for my future, and wanting to walk in it, with a desire to, you know, to continue my walk. Part of which I've also discovered that God gives me words for other people, words that can encourage them, and words that, you know, will give them hope on their journey. And I just feel that it's part of God's plan for me, you know, rescued me, and now He can use me in any way. And so I just want to encourage you that, you know, if I've given you a word of hope, I've given you a word, then listen to it. Okay.
That's amazing, Evie.
Wow, thank you, Evie.
Thank you very much for listening.
Well, just to round off what we wanted to bring, we don't like to leave something unfinished, in the sense of it's good to have an activation, an activity, an exercise where you can hear God for yourself. I mean, some of you may feel confident about that, some of you may feel less than confident, but something that we've found really works well, and this is what I'm going to suggest, is you think of 3 names, and there'd be people known to you in one capacity or another. Now, one of them may actually be you. And the idea is that you want to ask God to give you some information, revelation, encouragement for each of those 3 people, one of which might be yourself. So just write down the 3 names, whether on your phone or your tablet or a journal or something, or a piece of paper, and just leave them open, in a sense. Leave them open for 7 days to start with. So, and when you get up in the morning, say, ask Holy Spirit or God or Jesus, whoever you want to pray to, because they all come from the same source. It's good to know. What have you got to say to me for these people? And just ask that question when your day begins, and see what happens over the 7 days. So the key thing with this is not to try and analyze it. So if you get a color or a picture or a Bible verse or a line from a poem or something you can see in your mind, just write it down underneath that particular name. Don't try and analyze it. Don't over think, well, I've got to get this so it looks spiritual or looks useful or makes sense. Don't worry about that. Just start writing when you get the prompt right down, and see what happens. Look at it in 7 days, but you might want 14 days. You know, God doesn't do things to order. This is about a relationship. Okay. And it's about him encouraging dependence on each one of us. So we're going to do the same. So it's not about you need to do this. We can do this. And these three people, one of whom may be yourself, if you're feeling like you need some encouragement from God, will be an encouragement to go back to God and say, this is what I want to hear from you for these people to encourage them in their journey. And that is just right at the heart of hearing from God for yourself and for other people. So you might find in 7 days, 14 days, whatever it is, you've got enough to send a message or a card or an email or have a phone call and say, do you know what? Just this came to me. And you'll be amazed what you get. So what I'm going to do now is I want to leave 1 minute of silence. And I'm just going to, in that silence, is just for each of us to ask in our own way that he will bring to a mind the people that he wants us to put on the list. And that's the beginning of this activation. It's not the end. You may find you've only got 2 or 1 or nobody, but it's just about a place of preparation. You come and say, okay, this is my intention. I want to hear from you, and I want you to give me the names of the people. So I just guess for 1 minute, and I'll time it. So that's how we start the activation. If you'd like to be part of this, then simply ask that question of God. Well, that's a minute. I guess we go back to Martin and Anna.
Great. Thank you so much. What a great little challenge. Activation. That's a nicer word, isn't it? An activation that just to listen to what God's saying this week, so we can bless others and encourage others. And thank you so much for what you've shared, being lost and then found in God. And I just wanted to say this morning that invitation, that opportunity is there for everybody, and that's what you said so clearly today. And even now, if you're watching and thinking, great, something inside me is stirring, but how do I actually make that first step? To be that sheep carried on Jesus's shoulders. I just want to come to God's open arms. Well, it just takes a short step, a short prayer, just to open your heart to Jesus and say, Jesus, come into my life. I choose to trust you. I want to follow you. And will you be the Lord of my life, the boss of my life, and take me on this journey of faith? A simple prayer. So I'm just going to pray now, and if you want to echo that prayer, then say it this morning, and then we'll cheer with you, because stepping into God's love is the most amazing thing you'll ever do. So let's pray together. Dear God, we thank you for Jesus. We thank you that he died on a cross to forgive my sin. And so today I want to invite you, Jesus, into my life. Come and live in my heart by the power of your Holy Spirit. Will you forgive me? Will you change me from the inside out? And I choose to trust you today with my life and to follow you. Fill me with your love and fill me with your Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen. And we'd love to hear from you. Maybe you prayed that for the first time. Do get in touch with us at Refresh. There's a prayer request email you can get in touch with us at, and the website. We'd love to hear from you. That'd be great. Anna?
Oh, sorry, I'm getting a bit trigger happy.
You're getting carried away with putting banners on the screen.
Sorry.
Have we got any more comments?
Oh, let's have a look.
Yeah, I think there's been quite a few great comments coming in.
So Tony said, Evie, love you and love everything you shared. So brilliant. Clay G, thank you, Evie, for sharing your beautiful story of rediscovering God's love. It filled my heart with fresh hope again. Thank you. Got loads of comments. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Judith, thank you so much. Oh, there's here.
And from Rohit, great to have you with us this morning. Thanks, Alex, for the wonderful message, and Evie for such an encouragement, building our faith through your testimony. God is in control of our lives. Absolutely. Amen to that. God bless you, Rohit, this morning.
Naomi, Alex and Evie, wonderful to hear you share the amazing story and the exercise with all three of us. Oh,
great.
Amazing. And my mum, she isn't on the chat, but she sent me a text just saying that you've always made her feel so welcome, Evie, when she's been in Refresh. So, yeah, I think we'll be having you back on the live stream, Evie, to share more stories, because you've got a lot to say. And I just love it that you say it in such a clear way that so many people can relate to. So, yeah, keep sharing your stories because we need to hear them.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Well, thank you so much, Alex and Eve. We'll see you very soon. I'll say goodbye now. So well done, guys. Love you loads, and we'll see you soon. Oh, what a fantastic morning it's been.
I know, it's gone so quick.
Yeah, it always flies by.
When you're having fun.
So any last minute, any messages to round off this morning? I'm just going to...
I don't think so.
We've had some great comments. Thank you for that. Don't forget, next week we are here again. And our guest speaker is going to be Janine Rodriguez. Yeah. And don't forget to pray for those 3 friends. Pick them out. And also, really good, watch out for the Eternal Wall Answered Prayer Challenge. There'll be more of those, I'm sure, appearing this week. So that's it, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Same time next week.
Same time next week. Do join us and have a great week, everybody.
Take care.
God bless.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.